Hi DIYers, George here from Alarm Grid. Today I'm going to be going over some things that may happen on your system if your 2 gig edge loses AC power. So first of all, for those of you who are getting a wireless system like the 2 gig edge, it does need to be plugged in for power. It is not solely battery operated. I know some people sometimes have that question. If it's a wireless system, does that mean the batteries, you have to change them out? No, the panel is plugged into an outlet and it does come with a power supply. It's a DC power supply. So you need to make sure that the system is going to be plugged in for power and it has a built-in 24-hour backup battery. So in the event that power does go out, your system still continues to work, still continues to send out alarm signals if somebody does happen to break in while the power goes out or the power to your house is cut. This little icon here in the top right hand corner, it's letting you know that it's the face of an outlet. It's letting you know that it's connected to AC power right now. When I unplug it, you'll start seeing that flash back and forth between that icon and a battery icon. So if you see that on your panel, that means your system does not have AC connection. Now, if you're wondering how doesn't it have power, it's connected into the outlet. Why isn't it getting power? One, check if your power's out. That would be the first thing. And then two, I would check if everything else in the house has power, then it could be the wires that are going from the power supply to the system. If one of the wires, it'll usually be red and black, positive and negative, ground and hot. If one of those wires is broken, then the system isn't getting the power that it needs. And eventually what happens, after it loses power, it will start working off of the backup battery. The backup battery will keep your system alive, basically, for 24 hours, as long as it's been fully charged to its full potential. And then after those 24 hours, once the backup battery starts getting almost close to its, final drain power, then once it reaches that threshold, the panel just shuts down. Right? It doesn't want to damage the battery completely, so once it gets to a certain voltage or threshold on the battery, the panel will just power down. And then you guys just have to make sure that the wires aren't cut or that nobody accidentally knocked the adapter out of the outlet. Real quick, I just want to show you guys what's going to happen. Right now, the screen is powered on. Once I unplug power, you should see an AC loss signal come up on the system here, and it'll ask you if you want to acknowledge it with an OK button. But if you guys don't hit the OK, it should disappear after about 5 to 10 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug the power in the back just to emulate what it looks like if power goes out. So the screen goes dark first, as you saw there. And then in a second here, we should see an AC loss signal. AC power is lost, battery backup in use. You can hit OK, or if you leave it alone, it should just disappear. 5 to 10 seconds, the screen turns back off. Now, just because AC is unplugged doesn't mean I still can't use the system. I can still arm away. I can disarm it. I'm going to use my default code, 1111.
System disarmed. Ready to arm.
But basically, you don't get that AC loss signal anymore. So if you guys aren't home when the power goes off, you guys get home, you guys won't know the system doesn't have AC power unless you see this little blinking icon up here. Like I said, it's the little battery. It's letting you know it's using battery, and it has the little slash loading. It has a little slash across the outlet icon, letting you know AC is lost. Right? So right now, this should continue working up to 24 hours. Again, as long as your battery is up to its full potential, it's charged all the way. Once you plug the system back in, so if your system does end up, let's say power is out in your area for 2 whole days or for a whole day, if it's out for more than 1 day, then your system is gonna lose power. But once you guys get power again, you might get a low battery message on the system for a while if it reaches that certain threshold. Basically the battery has to charge back up, and the way the battery charges back up is by being connected to AC power. So you do need to leave the system plugged in, I would say probably 12 hours to 24 hours, just to allow the battery to recharge. So I'm going to go ahead and plug my system back in, and you actually, once I plug it back in, the screen should come back to normal. So I didn't touch the screen, I plugged it back in, it's back to normal. You no longer see that blinking battery and slash with the outlet. It's now connected to the outlet. Since my panel hasn't been using the backup battery solely, it's not going to give you that low battery, just because my battery was literally used for like 2 seconds, right? But when you get closer to that threshold, you might get a low battery, and then the panel will power off. You plug it in to power it back on, give it a couple of hours, 12 to 24 hours for the battery to recharge, and you guys should be good to go. So that is pretty much what happens when you lose AC power on your 2 gig edge security system. If you guys have any questions on this, feel free to send an email to support@alarmgrid.com. If you found the video helpful, make sure you hit like underneath, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and hit the little bell icon so whenever we upload new content, you guys get notified. I'm George, and I'll see you next time.